Ребята давали либо какой-то фидбэк, либо они мне рассказывали какие-то новые штуки, которые я не знала, и я, мне кажется, училась в процессе даже иногда не от преподавателя, а просто от ребят, с кем вместе учусь.
Открываю глаза.
Именно из-за того, что ты начинаешь понимать, в какую сторону тебе расти, ты вообще начинаешь куда-то двигаться ускоренно. Вот.
Добрый вечер, друзья. Спасибо, что пришли. Меня зовут Дмитрий Панов. Я декан Московской школы музыки. И как декан Московской школы музыки я вам хочу рассказать о Московской школе музыки, чем мы занимаемся. Мы занимаемся образованием прежде всего. У нас есть программа бакалавриата, которая длится 4 года, так же, как и во всех бакалавриатах нашей страны. У нас есть программы дополнительного профессионального образования для тех, у кого уже есть высшее образование по продакшену, сонграйтингу. Это двухлетние программы саунд-инжинирингу, музыкальному бизнесу и световому дизайну, то есть для художников по свету. Эти три программы длятся 1 год. Вот, бакалавриат 4-летний, и он предназначен для продюсеров, сонграйтеров или звукорежиссеров или музыкантов. А также у нас есть подготовительные программы для тех, кто ничего не умеет, но хочет получать дальше музыкальное образование. Называется Introduction to Music, где мы учим людей играть на музыкальных инструментах, изучим теорию музыки и Ableton Live. Длится это удовольствие год. И есть программа 3-месячная, называется Music Basics, такая ознакомительная для тех, кто, в принципе, хочет попробовать комплексное музыкальное образование, и там вы научитесь ознакомиться с фортепиано на таком элементарном уровне, теории музыки тоже на элементарном уровне, и Ableton Live, наш пресловутый, он же любимый. Вот, мы проводим концерты. Правда, сейчас сезон подошел к концу. В прошлую субботу мы провели большой фестиваль. Если кто-то из вас был, надеюсь, вы получили удовольствие. Если вы не были, то вы многое потеряли, по моему субъективному мнению. Вот, но тем не менее мы проводим концерты периодически. Приходите, у нас выступают наши студенты, выпускники, а также приглашенные хедлайнеры. Вот в этом году, например, хедлайнерами у нас были Надя, Тима ищет свет и еще несколько более-менее известных артистов. Мы проводим открытые лекции, такие как сейчас. Скорее даже уже не лекции, а такие паблик-токи или интервью. Вот, у нас еще до конца августа состоится 2 штуки. 29-го у нас будет продюсер и сонграйтер Гарик Маза, а 31 числа у нас будет разговор с Дарьей Эрлих, она вокальный коуч, поговорим о вокальных зажимах. Помимо этого мы проводим экскурсии как по кампусу школы и университета, так и разные всякие выездные. Вот, например, не так давно мы проводили экскурсию на бэкстейдж фестиваля «Сигнал», где компания «Сила света» показывала, как они строят все эти цветовые шоу на технофестивале. Вот, ближайшая такая экскурсия состоится 24 августа, это же сегодня у нас, да, точно. Ну и 7 сентября будет следующая, через 2 недели. Вот. Сможете заглянуть в классы, посмотреть, что еще есть в университете, фотостудия, например. Вот. Полезные статьи. Есть у нас раздел на сайте, называется «МАГ», где мы периодически публикуем всякие статьи по темам, связанным с тем, чем мы занимаемся: продакшн, сонграйтинг, звукорежиссура, музыкальный бизнес и так далее. Так это выглядит. Вот, пожалуйста, welcome. У нас сегодня паблик-ток будет на английском языке, но если кому-то из вас нужен перевод, он будет в Zoom. Вам нужно пройти по ссылке в наш комьюнити-чат, и там вы найдете ссылку на Zoom. Вот. Это, Кать, скажи, пожалуйста, это ссылка, вот этот QR-код, это на сайт. Кому вообще нужен перевод? Так, пока мы все подключаемся, я тоже подключусь, чтобы слышать, как быстро у нас будет происходить перевод. И мы начнем. Кстати, друзья, я, в принципе, прошу вас не стесняться, присаживайтесь поближе. Вот, мне кажется, так будет лучше. Все готовы, да? Так, а я сам еще подключаюсь, извините, пожалуйста. В самый неподходящий момент, конечно же, Zoom хочет обновиться. Так, окей. Хочу вам представить нашего сегодняшнего спикера, нашего преподавателя, музыканта джазового Армира Ли. Ваши аплодисменты. Hi, Armir. How are you?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank
Of
you.
course.
Thank you for coming.
Pleasure. Pleasure. Thank you for having me. Absolutely.
We'd like to invite you to discuss what does it mean to be a musician, because you're a musician, and we are a school that was always more focused on music production. But from the recent times, we decided, okay, there should be musicians because the school is music school, right?
Right.
And it's a big question. What does it mean to be a musician now in era of DAW, AI, NFTs, and all the digital technologies? So that's what we talk. Извините, я просто еще не подключился к переводу, я не знаю, успевает ли наш переводчик переводить все. Как там у нас с переводом? Нормально? Скажите, кто его слушает? Переводчик еще переводит или нет? Окей, извините, я все-таки подключусь. Кстати, прошу поприветствовать нашего переводчика, зовут София. София, привет. Да. Так. Окей, теперь я тоже слышу перевод. So, what is it to be a musician now? Tell us. And tell your story, by the way, I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for all coming. Nice to see y'all. I appreciate you for inviting me, Dima, and y'all coming to see what I have to say. My name is Armir Lee. I'm a jazz saxophonist and an educator. I grew up in Houston, Texas. I went to the High School for Performing and Visual Arts, and which Beyonce went to for 6 months until she got famous and left. And then after that, once I finished at High School for Performing and Visual Arts, I went to Berkli College of Music, and I studied music education and jazz performance. And then that's when I moved here to come teach at Moscow Music School and to play the music for the people. So, yeah, but we're going to talk about my opinions and what I feel about being a modern musician in the modern music industry, which there's a lot of interesting things happening right now, specifically for if you want to perform. There's still a lot of opportunities, even though a lot of things are based in production, but there's still a lot of opportunities to perform. Great. I said a lot. Hopefully Sophia can translate.
Yeah. София, вы успеваете? Ага. Окей, договорились. Oh. We should wait until translation. Спасибо, София. Так, друзья, сейчас выглядело странно, я понимаю. Сейчас мы будем говорить немножко более короткими фразами и не делать такие большие паузы. Потому что у нас сегодня последовательный перевод. Вот те, кто в наушниках его слушает, ждали, пока закончился фраза на английском языке, а потом полностью ее переводили на русский язык. Вот, so let's talk a bit more condense phrases, okay, in order not to make it too long, okay? So let's carry on. What do you think main issues now for musician?
Yeah, I think the main issue for performers is opportunities to perform, because now with all of the production in the DAW, and now with the AI that's coming out, there's a lot less opportunities for performance. And I'll say this, then I'll stop so she can translate. But the while before the DAW, there was much more opportunities to perform in the club, and basically all musicians needed a band. But now that you can do everything automated and you can basically have a band on your phone, there's much less opportunities to perform. Let me know when I can keep going. I can go? Okay. So I want to first, oh yeah, yeah, tell me when. So first, I want to talk about the DAW, the history of the DAW, and what happened after the DAW, and then I want to talk about AI and NFTs. So, yeah. So, before the DAW, which is the Pro Tools, Ableton, Logic, all of this stuff, all recordings were done with analog. And analog is basically, when you look at a Pro Tools on the screen, the analog was the actual Pro Tools, the board. So what you would see on a Pro Tools screen is, there at first there was an actual board. I'll stop.
Pro Tools — это компьютерная программа, если что. Так, София, вы тут? Yes, you may. Там недоперевели. Да, когда-то, в общем, это был интерфейс. Сейчас это интерфейс, когда-то это были приборы электрические. Мне показалось, вы недоперевели это, поэтому я сейчас это озвучил тем, кто здесь. Okay, let's carry on.
Yeah, so during the time before the DAW, the great thing was that everybody needed musicians. So if you look, like you can Google or go on YouTube and look at a James Brown recording studio, and all of the musicians were in the same room. Also, it was like 1 or 2 takes. Whatever you played, that's what was going to be on the recording. Because with the analog, it was much more complicated to try and edit, to put you in tune or to fix notes. And to make the edits, it was much more complicated because you had to do it on the actual board. Now, with the DAW, you can go in and say, okay, the note is supposed to be here, but the note is here. Take your mouse, slide it up. So yeah, there was definitely a lot more opportunities for musicians to perform. Also, you had to be a great vocalist or a great instrumentalist because it was 1 take, 1, 2, 3 takes. And also it was more money for the record labels because they had to hire musicians to come in and they had to hire people. So I'm gonna stop. Yeah, let her translate. Yeah. So then the 1977 comes, and then we get the actual first DAW. In the 80s is when the DAW becomes very popular, and everybody's using the DAW. That really killed a lot of the session jobs, because at the time, like for example, I'm a saxophone player. I didn't necessarily have to have a solo career as a saxophonist. I could have just played as a saxophone player in recording studios. So that definitely cut a lot of the jobs. Also, you didn't have to be as skillful with your craft because, like I said, the DAW is easy to edit. Mistakes, intonation problems, and a slew of other things. Yeah, I'll let her translate that. Привет.
Спасибо, друзья. Для вновь прибывших объясню, что сейчас происходило, потому что мы сидели, молчали, а вы только что зашли. У нас сегодня лекция на английском языке. И для тех, кто им по какой-то причине не владеет, у нас там есть QR-код, и можно подключиться через Zoom, в наушники послушать перевод на русский язык. Вот. Но он последовательный, поэтому мы говорим в меру короткими фразами, чтобы переводчик успевал все это переводить. Окей. Если вам нужен такой переводчик, Катерина вам поможет. Отлично. Let's move on.
Yeah, so conclusion, no DAW, you had to be really good. Without the DAW, with the DAW, they can edit it very quickly. So now I want to talk about the AI. This is a quote from a pop musician. I haven't even really listened to her music, but her name is Holly Hurden. And now with the AI out, it's proposing a lot of different questions on where is the music going to go and what's going to happen. And I'm going to get a little bit long-winded, so sorry, Sophia, but I hope you can translate this. So with the AI now, it's really making creating music much more easy because you can essentially just put the code in and the AI will create everything. You can mimic people's voices with the AI. And so we're kind of at this weird crossroad. Do we continue to go down this road or do we stop? But the reality of it is with technology never goes backwards. So it's here, it's gonna stay, it's not going anywhere. I'll let her translate that. For free?
Спасибо. Меня посетила гениальная мысль. Нам надо просто пустить сюда перевод. Тогда это не будет выглядеть так странно. Все будут понимать, что происходит. Катя. Ага. В общем, мы продолжаем как есть, потом сделаем, чтобы вы тоже понимали, потому что это реально очень странно. Okay, let's carry on.
Oh, I think I turned my, here it is. Yeah, so if you look at the quotes that she talks about, there's kind of this split between the musicians. So if you look recently, there was with that Drake and the Weeknd AI song, and they put it up, and then Universal Music took it down, and Drake came out and said, "I don't like the AI. I don't think it should be right." But this lady, she talks about that it's a good thing and she's okay with it because it's proposing the question of, is your musicality intellectual property? So should somebody be able to take your voice and make a song with it? And really what's going to depend on which way the AI goes and how do we use it in the music industry is going to be dependent on what the legislators do, the laws that they make against it. Because as I said, some people are saying no, some people are saying yes. But I'll say this, then I'll let her translate. But I think some of the musicians, what they're doing is they're accepting the fact that once technology is here, it doesn't go away. So it will remain and it will go further. And so basically what she's saying is, I'm okay with the AI, I'm okay with people taking my voice and my likeness, but just pay me. So if you use my voice, if you use my music, you have to pay me 50% in royalties, and then you can keep the other 50%. So basically where we're at right now, in conclusion, I'll make it easy for you to translate this, Sophia. This is the part that you have to translate. So half of the musicians are saying, we don't want to deal with it, we don't want it. There's another half saying, it's here, I accept it, but if you use my voice, you need to pay me. If you use anything that I'm doing, you have to pay me. You have to translate that part. Yeah, so in conclusion, my personal opinion, what I think is going to happen, it's definitely here to stay. It'll depend on what the lawmakers do, what kind of laws they create about it. Most likely what will happen is the record labels will go to the lawmakers. They will pay them lots of money and tell them what kind of laws. And they'll probably what they'll do is they'll pay the lawmakers to say that you can't take people's stuff if it's one of their artists. And then the other thing that the record labels possibly will start doing is, instead of even finding artists, they'll just create their own artists with AI because it's much cheaper for them. They can just create whatever they want. I'm gonna go to the next slide while she translates. So the next thing I want to talk about quickly is NFTs, so everybody's talking about the AI and no one's really talking about the NFTs, but the NFTs is really interesting because Snoop Dogg is kind of the first person to come out and do this. What he wants to start doing is selling a record. So you buy the record for $9.99, but you not only buy the record, but you also get the masters and the stems. So you'll get the whole record, you can listen to it, but you'll also get Snoop Dogg's voice, the bass line, the drums, the keyboard track, and you'll own it because it's an NFT and you can use it however you want. So you could literally take Snoop Dogg, his voice, and put it in your own song. That's the other side where the music industry is about to go, which is about to open up a bunch of doors for a lot of new creativity and a lot of new music and a lot of legal battles. Y'all speak English well? Because I got like a Texas accent. Is it cool? No? Cool? It's all right. What's up, Murad? What's up, Sasha? Y'all good? Y'all good over here? It's cool? Word up.
Кать, получится так сделать, чтобы... Да, супер. Окей, тогда значит подожди. Окей,
Cool?
we can move
Okay,
on.
Yes, sir. Okay. So next thing I want to talk about is what is musicianship. So one of the first things that you have to think about if you're going to be a performer, do you want to be a leader or do you want to be a sideman? This is very important. So if you want to be a leader, you're the one that you start your band. You're the one that talks to the manager. You talk to the booking agent. You set the music, what you're going to be artistically, where you want to play. If you want to be a sideman, you're the guy or the girl that all you want to do is be hired for the gig and get paid. You don't care about the business aspects of it. And so you need to think about that. So if you want to be a performer, you need to think that if you're going to be a leader, you have to deal with the business, booking agents, managers, where you're going to play, what kind of music you're going to do, what the direction of the band is. Because a lot of people want to be performers and they want to be leaders, but they operate like sidemen. So they expect the gigs to come to them. They expect the managers and the booking agents to find them. They expect everybody else to decide what kind of artist they are. I'm going to stop right there so she can translate.
София, вы закончили? Yeah, we can move on.
So that's the first thing that you need to decide. The second thing that you need to Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I'll just say it because I know what the next slide is. So the second thing that you need to decide is, do you want to be an artist or do you want to be a musician? Because they're different. So if you want to be an artist, this is the person that has something philosophically and emotionally to say to people, that you're trying to present something to people. Hold on one second. Bang. Okay. Yeah, so you need to decide, do you want to be an artist or do you want to just be a musician? An artist is somebody that has something philosophically and emotionally to give to people. So you need to be reading a lot of stuff, news, books, philosophy, inner thoughts, thinking about what you want to present to people. What is your effect on society? You're supposed to explain the human experience through your music, whatever that means to you. A musician, that's just a person that just wants to play the gig, get paid, and go home. You need to think about that because there's a difference. So those two things are the first things that you need to do if you want to be a performer. Are you going to be a leader and an artist, or are you going to be a sideman and a musician? These two things, before you even start over, these two things you have to think about before you even become a performer, because this is going to decide how you're going to deal with your career. All those two concepts decide everything that you're going to do on your path for your career.
То есть сначала вам нужно выбрать, кем вы хотите быть, во-вторых, вам нужно выбрать, хотите ли вы быть артистом или музыкантом. Если вы хотите быть артистом, то в философском и в эмоциональном плане вам нужно что-то предоставить людям. Вам нужно посмотреть, как вы можете это оформить и предоставить людям. Для этого нужно много читать. Это могут быть книги, философия, просто свои мысли, новости. Вам нужно подумать о том, как это повлияет на общество, и своими словами объяснить, что это быть человеком, как вы это понимаете. Если вы хотите быть просто музыкантом, то музыкант просто хочет, чтобы он отыграл на концерте, ему заплатили, он бы пошел домой. Поэтому прежде чем вам сначала нужно подумать, кем вы хотите быть. Лидером и артистом или быть больше на стороне и быть музыкантом. Это до того, как вы начнете, потому что это задаст тон вашей карьере и определит, каким будет ваш путь.
Okay, so being a modern musician, so now we're about to talk about really quickly, as I said, so you've decided if you want to be an artist, just a musician, a sideman, or a leader, because this is going to decide where your career is going to go. So one of the first things that you have to decide after that, well, the third thing you have to decide after you figure that out is, do you want to be a signed artist? Taylor Swift. She is a signed artist. She has a very, very big record deal, okay? Or do you want to be an independent artist? These are the options that you can make. You decide. You can be a signed artist or you can be an independent artist. These are the decisions that you have to make because there's 3 big labels. Those are the 3 big ones. There's no other ones other than that. There's smaller labels, Rock Nation, et cetera, but they all come back to these 3. You want to be signed? You're dealing with these 3. There's no questions about it. Signed, you're going to deal with these 3. It's not a question. Okay. I'll let you translate that, Sophia.
После того, как вы решите, в каком направлении вы хотите идти, первая вещь, уже третья вещь, после этого, когда вы это выяснили, это хотите ли вы иметь контракт, например, Тейлор Свифт, у нее очень большой контракт, либо вы хотите быть независимым артистом, потому что есть всего 3 самых больших лейбла, даже нет вопросов по этому поводу. Есть, допустим, менее крупные лейблы, например, Rock Nation, но все равно сводится к этим 3.
Yeah, so what I have right here is the 3 record deals. If you decide to talk to these people, these are the 3 record deals they're going to give you. There's not going to be a negotiation. If they say, hey, you know what, Murad, I want you to be my artist, you're getting one of these. I suggest you take a picture of that and go Google it, because there's more, but those are the 3 deals that you're going to get. I'm not going to explain them because they're pretty self-explanatory, but I will quickly talk about the 360 deal, which is like the one that basically they're all doing now at this point. The 360 deal is basically the biggest ripoff of all time. They give you a big advancement. So, for example, they may say, Murad, I'm going to give you $100,000 to pay for your record, and I'm going to take all of your masters and 90% of your royalties. You have 10% of your royalties, and you will get those royalties after your royalties pay off my $100,000, and after your concerts pay off my $100,000, and your merchandise pays off your $100,000. And because you signed a contract that gave me your likeness, anything you do, yeah, I'm going to take a piece of that. But this is what you have to think about. Like, if you want to be signed, that's what's going to happen. If you want to be independent, you can fund your record. You can fund your record yourself. You can still perform and stuff like that. But if you want to be Taylor, Drake, Beyonce, you're going to have to deal with one of those. Now, that doesn't mean, and sorry, Sophia, I'm talking a lot. I'm going to stop after this. But it doesn't mean just because you don't get one of those deals that you can't do it. Like, for example, I like to be an independent artist. Like, I have a story about when I tried to put my record out. But I still perform. I still have the ability to put my record out if I want. You can still perform in lots of different places, but these are the things that you have to think about. Like if you want to be signed, that's the deal that you're gonna get. If you want to be independent, then you can pay for it yourself. Nobody's gonna touch you. And there's a lot of artists that people don't talk about. There's a lot of artists playing all around the world that's not taking those deals. You don't have to take those deals in order to be successful.
Я сейчас поговорю про контракт 360. Кратко, это самый большой грабеж, потому что, например, лейбл говорит вам, я дам вам 100 тысяч долларов на эту запись, но 90% авторских прав идут ко мне, у вас может быть 10%, и вы можете получить эти деньги после того, как с помощью мерча и концерта все окупится. И если вы хотите, чтобы у вас был контракт, то, скорее всего, вам придется разбираться с чем-то подобным. Я, например, я больше предпочитаю быть независимым артистом, потому что, несмотря на то, что контракта нет, я все равно могу записывать, я все равно могу выступать. В случае, если вы хотите быть независимым артистом, вы можете выступать, можете сами спонсировать свои записи. И если вы независимый артист, это не означает, что у вас не будет успеха, но вам также надо это знать.
Yeah, so I really want to emphasize that just because you don't have, not everything has to be Drake, Taylor, and Beyonce and stuff like that. Like I said, you can still perform and be an independent artist. Like, for example, I know a lot of people that are independent artists performing in all over the place. So you really need to think about that, because that's going to decide also what kind of music are you going to do, because the record labels are going to tell you, nah, we don't want you to put this out. This is what we want. But if you're independent, you have the freedom to do what you want to do. That where you want to play. You can be what kind of artist you want. You don't have to be regulated to anything. So these are like very important things that you need to think about in the fundamental level of your musicianship, because this is going to decide where do you want to play, who you're playing with, what direction you're going in. Direction is the most important thing in this business, because it's a long game. It's not a short game. So you need to be thinking, where am I going to be at in 10 years? Where am I going to be at in 20 years? Where do I want to play? So, Sophia, you want to translate that? And I'm going to go to the next thing.
Thank you. Я хочу подчеркнуть, что не все должно быть как у Дрейка или Тейлор Свифт или Бейонсе. Я знаю много людей, которые независимые, и они выступают очень много где. И вам также нужно решить, какой вид музыки вы хотите предоставлять миру. Потому что лейбл может вам сказать, мы не хотим, чтобы ваша музыка была в этом стиле. Если же вы независимы, вы можете решать, вас никто не контролирует. И очень важно на базовом уровне понимать, какую форму имеет ваша музыкальность, какой вид имеет ваша музыка. Направление в этом бизнесе – это самое-самое важное, потому что это длительный процесс, это не короткий процесс. Вам нужно задавать себе вопросы, где я хочу быть через 10 или 20 лет, какой вид музыки я хочу играть.
So, does anybody have any questions? Because I have one more thing to say, but I can talk more about other stuff, but I want to give you time for questions. Anybody have questions? No questions? No questions? Okay, cool.
Может быть, есть вопросы, потому что я хочу продолжить разговаривать, но если у вас есть вопросы.
It could be about anything. No questions?
No questions asked.
No questions asked. Don't be shy to ask questions. Ask questions. So, I know I talked about like AI, NFTs, and basically the vibe seems like there's not really a place for performing and to be a musician with all of the technology at this point, but it's not really true. This is a picture of the Berlin Philharmonic. I promise you, every Friday, every Saturday, it's sold out. I play at the Kozlov, the SA, play all of these different places. Tonight, I'm gonna go to this place called Blanc. There's people still checking out live music. People love live music. It's never gonna go away. Alicia Keys still plays with a live band. I think Beyonce, I don't know if she is now, but I think she may probably still play with a live band. Justin Bieber definitely plays with a live band. Lil Wayne plays with a live band. People still want to hear live music, so there's still an opportunity to perform. And to be honest, that's where you're going to get most of your money at this point. So what I encourage you is those that want to just record your music and then put it on Spotify and hope for the best. It's probably not going to happen because nobody's going to buy it. Okay, I'm going to ask you all a question. Who in here actually buys music? Like, raise your hand. Who actually buys music? Like, you'll buy the whole record. 1, 2, 3. When was the last time buy music? Right, that's my point. Nobody really buys music. So to just put your song on Spotify, iTunes, and on Instagram and say, everybody, I put this song up, it's not enough. You have to get out there and perform. It doesn't matter if it's a local bar or a restaurant. Perform, play. That's how you're going to make your money. I'll let you translate it, Sophia.
Мы все говорим про искусственный интеллект и NFT, и что именно выступать вживую больше негде без технологий. Но это не совсем так. Например, в этом месте в Берлине каждую пятницу в этом все билеты проданы, потому что люди все еще хотят слушать живую музыку. Это никогда не уйдет. Я думаю, Алиша Кис все еще выступает вживую, Бейонсе, скорее всего, тоже, Бибер, Лил Вейн, они все выступают вживую, так как люди хотят это слышать. И это то место там, где вы больше всего денег заработаете. Так что я хочу подтолкнуть вас к тому, что если вы просто выставляете свою музыку в Spotify, либо где-то еще на платформе и надеетесь на лучшее, скорее всего, этого не произойдет, потому что, как мы выяснили, особо никто не покупает музыку. Это просто выставлять свою музыку на платформах этого недостаточно, обязательно нужно выступать, неважно, если это просто местный бар или ресторан.
Yeah, so performing is going to be your main source of income. To be honest, my personal opinion of releasing music is not necessarily to make money from it. It's a form of promotion at this point. So if you want to do a tour, you release the record. That's what the booking agent or your producer is going to use to promote you to get a tour. And then you'll make your money from the tour. But the biggest thing I have to tell you is if you're a young musician, not age, but a young musician, is to perform. I just can't say it enough. Play, perform. Like I said, local bar. I don't care if it's karaoke. I don't care if it's like 3 people in your basement play. When I was at Berkli, we used to play, because we didn't have anywhere to play, we would play in somebody's basement in the apartment for like 15 people. And we would just like rehearse and just play. But that brought us up. That's your main thing, is performing. The biggest thing is to play as much as possible.
Также именно играть и вживую выступать, это будет вашим основным источником дохода. Я думаю, что это не обязательно ваш источник дохода, но это такой вид промоушена. Если ваш продюсер или ваш менеджер будет обращать на это внимание, если вы поедете в тур, и потом в туре вы заработаете денег. Но самое важное, если вы молодой артист, выступаете, играете, неважно, если это караоке или это 3 человека в подвале. Например, когда я был в Беркли, у нас не было где играть, и мы играли в подвале в чьей-то квартире для 15 человек. Мы просто тренировались, репетировали, выступали. Поэтому я еще раз подчеркиваю, выступайте, это очень важно.
Yeah, so I'll say just in conclusion, to conclude everything we kind of talked about, think about, do you want to be an artist or a musician? Do you think about, do you want to be a leader or a sideman? Think about, do you want to be Drake level, or are you okay with being an independent artist? Think about, where can I start performing? Think about, what kind of music do I want to do? Think about, what do I have to say about what's going on in society and in the world? That's your biggest source. not every song has to be about your breakup. Not every song has to be about your depression. It can be about the sun. It can be about happiness. Think about these things and think about what direction you want to go in with your music. Don't allow other forces like the record label to decide what your music's going to be. Don't be regulated that you think there's only one path to do this. There's multiple paths to get to this. And you can do it any way that you want, but you have to be smart and you have to think about how are you going to do it. It's not just you're not going to just wake up and Warner Music is going to say, oh my God, we found you on Spotify. We would like to offer you a $1 million and make you the next Rihanna. It's not going to happen. You need to figure out how are you going to make it happen? What are you going to do? If that's what you want, you can achieve it. It's been done before. If you don't want that, don't accept it. You could translate
В
this.
завершение хочу сказать, что вам нужно подумать о том, хотите ли вы быть артистом или музыкантом, быть лидером или оставаться в стороне, быть на уровне Дрейка или вы не против быть независимым артистом. Вам нужно подумать о том, где вы хотите начать выступать, какую музыку вы хотите делать, что вы хотите сказать обществу и миру. Это ваш главный источник. Не каждая песня должна быть про расставание или про депрессию, она может быть про счастье. Вам нужно подумать об этих вещах и в каком направлении вы хотите двигаться. Не позволяйте никому контролировать себя, не позволяйте записывающей студии, лейблу говорить вам, в каком стиле это должно быть, что есть только один путь к успеху. Есть много путей, но нужно быть смышленым и знать, как это сделать. Вы не проснетесь в один прекрасный день, и Warner Music не постучится в вам окно и скажет, здесь $1 миллион. Это не произойдет. Вам нужно думать о том, как вы это сделаете. Это уже было сделано. Если вы этого хотите, то этого можно достичь.
And last thing, I'll say really quickly, research, study all the time, constantly looking at what happened in the history from the business and the music, and stay relevant, stay current, pay attention to what's happening now. Know the biggest artists in whatever genre you do. I'm a jazz musician. I know who the biggest artists are that are older than me. I know who my contemporaries are, the ones that are the same age as me. Always be studying, always be paying attention to what's going on.
И последнее, что я хочу сказать, изучайте и читайте про это, изучайте все время историю музыки и бизнеса, будьте в актуальном, знайте, что происходит именно сейчас. Так как я занимаюсь джазом, я знаю музыкантов, которые старше меня, и также моих современников. Всегда будьте в курсе того, что происходит сейчас.
All right, so you want to let them do... Oh, that's the last one. Yeah, yeah.
Друзья, у кого из вас есть вопросы? Давайте вообще-то поаплодируем Софии. Вопросы я уже сам переведу. Большое спасибо, София, за перевод.
Спасибо.
Да. Вопросы? Прошу. Вы можете сразу на английском задавать.
Привет, bro. You asked me about Berkli? Is that what he asked?
No, about Moscow Music School.
Oh, about Moscow Music. I thought he said Berkli because I was about to tell him I was going to say, because what I was going to say is I would say, well, it may be the second best because Moscow Music School is the best. Right. What makes, well, I'm not really in you said production and DJing. I'm not really in that department, but what I have noticed is like with Leo. I mean, Leo is one of the best audio engineers in the world. I mean, he recorded Benito Gonzalez. I mean, he's recorded me. I brought musicians into the studio, and they all loved him. I mean, so you have a lot of open-minded faculty members here. You have a lot of people that aren't just doing things the traditional way. They're going to give you their opinions on how they do it. They're also going to give you the freedom to do how you want to do it. So which is the most important thing at a music school in this generation, is that you're going to get the fundamentals and the tradition. You're going to learn how it's done, but at the same time, you have an opportunity to express yourself in the way that you do. Because for example, when I had my class, I taught them the tradition. I taught them what the history was, but the final project was do whatever you want, but be able to tell me where you got this from in the history, but you can do whatever you want. Is that true? Is that what I did? Да, конечно. Does that answer your question?
Was was the sentence, what the best music university in the world? The answer is?
Moscow Music School, baby.
Yeah, but what did you answer?
Huh?
What did you answer? The Berklee or this side?
Oh, the best in the world?
Yeah.
In my opinion, no bias, Moscow Music School.
Okay, good. Thank you for native advertisement. Я переведу для тех, кто не в курсе. Вопрос был, какое самое, не знаю, лучшее учебное заведение музыкальное в мире. Вообще-то Армир — выпускник Беркли, и преподаватель Московской школы музыки. Было много шуток о том, что Moscow Music School — лучшая в мире школа. Вот. А потом Армир объяснил, как там у него проходило в Беркли обучение, что в конце концов тебе говорят, просто делай все, что хочешь. Это короткий очень перевод, потому что я просто потерял, о чем была мысль, где-то посередине. Окей. Есть ли у вас еще вопросы?
What did she say?
Was the three main points, what did you learn from Berklee?
About Berkeley?
What did you learn from Berklee? Like three best things that you appreciate?
Man, I don't remember. I don't know. I went there. It's finished. I'm here now. To me, I'm not going to answer. Is it okay if I don't answer that question? I get asked about Berklee all the time, to be honest, and I'm kind of I don't want to answer it anymore. I know it's Berklee, but what you think it is, it's not that. And I'll just leave it at that.
В общем, ответ, что не может Армир выделить 3-5 вещей. Было дело давно, он закончил, постоянно спрашивает про Беркли. Единственное, что он может сказать, что вряд ли это будет то, как вы себе представляете. Вот. Видимо, в духе, что очень много ожиданий от этого учебного заведения. Оно, конечно, наверное, хорошее, но не настолько, как люди об этом думают. Да, прошу.
Is this about Berkeley?
Это будет вопрос про Беркли.
Please don't.
Do you know any Russian artists that became famous in the US or maybe in Europe? And do you know what's the issue with them? Why can they be well known in the Western countries? What's the problem?
That's a good question, actually. I personally there definitely are some Russian artists that I'm sure are popular there, but I can't think of any. But my opinion on it, probably why, is it's obvious. It's what's going on politically. It's just not something that they want to really promote. But I will say it doesn't have anything to do with the level of Russian ingenuity. Some of the musicians all I play with is Russian musicians here. Some of the best musicians on the planet are here. And I just think that it's what's going on politically, and then also, it's just counterintuitive, I guess, for them to promote Russians in America. Maybe I don't know, but I feel like I didn't see when I went back. Sorry, it's a long answer, but I'll say this quick. When I went back to the U.S., I didn't see any like anti-Russian sentiment. Most people weren't like that. When I was talking to all of the people I know, they said I have no problem with Russian people. But I will say, no, definitely in Russia, there's a lot of ingenuity. All of the musicians that I play with, some of the best, some of them, to be honest, are living legends. But I think that don't focus so much on being popular in the West. Like, yeah, you know, I'm going to let you translate, and I have one thing to say about that. Yeah.
I will shorten it anyway, don't worry.
Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, so, yeah, don't focus on necessarily being popular around the world first. Focus on being popular in your city. Like, if you can't become popular, if you can't be one of the best and popular in your city, good luck trying to go anywhere else and do it. Like, you need to first be popular and successful and very well known in your city, and then think about going somewhere else after that.
Okay, great. But you didn't answer, like, name few names that was famous from Russia around the world.
Oh, I don't know any. Like, I mean, there's probably some. Oh,
Probably who?
huh?
You just named probably whom?
No. I said I can't think of any like pop artists that are Russian. But I'm sure there are some. There has to be some.
Okay, good. I will translate.
Yeah.
Ну, это, короче, такое короткое изложение. Смысл в том, что ни одного артиста Армир не может вспомнить российского популярного на Западе. Наверняка они есть. Причина, возможно, в данный момент политическая, потому что просто невозможно продвигать российских артистов на западном и на американском рынке по политическим причинам. Хотя вместе с тем Армир замечает, что как бы обычные американцы, например, ну как бы вообще не думают даже о России, все как бы окей, можно было бы, если бы это было возможно в целом, но этого просто не происходит, потому что там лейблы этим, например, не будут заниматься точно. И в принципе, зацикливаться на идее, это не моя мысль, это я все перевожу у Армира, зацикливаться на идее быть популярным по всему миру не самая хорошая мысль. Вот. Надо зациклиться на идее стать популярным у себя в городе. Потому что если ты у себя в городе не можешь стать популярным, то как бы думать о том, как захватить весь мир, просто не получится. Да? Еще какие-нибудь вопросы есть у вас, друзья? Конечно.
Yeah, I feel like by definition, like if you're an artist, you're a musician, right? By definition, if you're a musician, you're a musician. But as I explained, the artist, it's the mindset. Like the artist is trying to present something philosophical and convey the human experience in a sonically poetic way to the people. That was good, huh? You like that one? And then being a musician just plays music for themselves. They just want to get paid. They don't care about making a philosophical statement for the people or conveying human experience or talking about topics that are going on in the world. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Where?
Кстати, надо кому-нибудь переводить на русский язык или нет? Поднимите руку, если надо. Значит, не надо было. Окей. Есть ли еще вопрос? Hey, by the way, did you mean artist like visual artist, sound artist, the same, or artist as an act, as a group, or as like as a title?
I feel like it, like individually, it could be a group, it could be a visual artist. Like just an artist is somebody. Like it could be a dancer, a painter.
I get it. I mean, there is some difficulties in translation in Russian language. Yeah. Artist mean visual artist, actually.
Yeah, but in English, artist.
Literally, you can translate artist, which is
like a painter.
Act, like a
stage, that's
someone who perform on a stage.
Yeah, the same thing. Yeah, same thing. English. Yeah. I think he has a question. I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Can you come closer? Yeah, I mean, I thought about it. I didn't get a chance to talk about it today, but you should use every option to get your music out there and to get your name out there. If you become famous through TikTok, cool. If you become famous through Instagram, great. If you become famous by playing at the local bar and playing at the local clubs, local concert halls, great. Use any source possible. And I mean, that's the great thing too about this generation in modern times is that with this, you have such an opportunity because you can access the entire world with this in 2 seconds. And that's a great thing. And I don't think that you should not use that. You should definitely use that.
Кому-нибудь нужно перевести то, что было сказано? Поднимите руку. Здесь такие есть. Супер. Поехали. Есть ли у вас еще какие-нибудь вопросы, друзья? Вперед.
See, I don't really know what the situation is here because I haven't really talked to enough of the musicians. I can only speak to the West. But I know Warner is definitely still here because it's Warner Music Russia. I'm sure, to be honest, I haven't checked. That's a good question. I'm sure they all three still operate here, but I think what it is the distribution. So they may have stopped distributing records here, but they still do function because I did something for. I actually worked as a translator for Warner Music one time. They needed somebody to speak English, so I did translation. But Warner is still here. I can't speak to the other ones. But to answer the question, I think they're all three probably still here. They might just not be distributing, but they're still. I know for a fact Warner is definitely still here.
I can add that Warner renamed as SP or SP Digital. There it still operates, but like outside of the head office. Universal works as like just support the catalog, back catalog, not releasing anything new, and Sony is exited.
Sony fully exited.
Yeah. But distributors like Believe, they still work here, like with no any changes, almost no. The Orchard is closed. And who is third? 1RPM. 1RPM still works as well. That's it. The question was about what shall you teach? But I will answer, okay, in Russian, it will be quicker.
Yeah, you can answer.
Армир у нас преподает исполнительское мастерство и такую дисциплину, как ансамбль. Но мы не джазовая школа, мы специально не играем джаз. Мы играем любую как бы музыку, если хотите. Это будет black metal, heavy metal, что угодно. Вот, может быть и джаз в том числе. Вот, и... Да. Какие еще вопросы?
So
I would add something. Yeah, that type of situation we just witnessed. It's like a pure, example of inclusion. Inclusion. Inclusion means not only invite people to the party, but also ask to dance.
Right.
Yeah, that's where we were sitting, listening to the translation, because like few people here really need it. So thank you so much for your patience with this translation, because I understand it's a bit boring just to sit and repeat the same ideas twice. But thank you so much for your patience, and see you next time. Please, your applause to Armir.
Спасибо. Thank you.
Приходите к нам еще. До новых встреч. Всего доброго.